Hello everybody, welcome back to Italy round 17, the penultimate round of the 2021 FIM Motocross World Championship. We're at the MXGP of Lombardia, we're at the circuit of Mantova. Conditions could not be any more perfect. Soft on track, not too wet, not too dry. And I think we are going to be in for an absolute treat here. MXGP Race 1 just around the corner, where Roman Fevre, the new championship leader for Kawasaki, Tim Geiser and Jeffrey Hurlings are separated by 3 points, just as they were a week ago. The only difference is now 3 riders, 3 points, just 2 Grand Prix remain. The racetrack here, 1,670 meters long, is going to be a real challenging test for them, and you need a good start. You need to stay out of trouble the first 2 corners. The Slovenian fans have travelled in support of Tim Geiser. The Dutchies have travelled for Jeffrey Hurlings, and there's a bunch of French fans out there as well for Roman Fevre. And for the neutrals, well, we're just sitting here anticipating what could be another dramatic round of MXGP. The Cairoli fans are in as well, because just 2 more rounds for the 9-time world champion. The Italian legend does not want to disappoint here.
Lorenzo have joined my team this season. We have been training together and preparing together, and we make good connection. We speak same language, Spanish. He comes from Venezuela.
My first year in MXGP has been for sure difficult. It's been up and down. I would like to be more consistent. It's been a big learning experience. The difficulty is the level. The level is super high. To get a really good result, you have to put up your 100%. My best MXGP this season for sure was Lockett, team's home race. You know, I was feeling the vibe. First moto, I passed a lot of guys that I look up to, and I finished 12th.
I've been nominated to the MX of Nations, and my manager Yiri take me to Turkey for practice, new chance for me, and I can try riding with the best riders of the world. Everything is different, the tracks are faster, riders are faster.
Injuries have been big this year. You know, I broke my nose twice this season. I also broke my ribs, and I'm still dealing with those injuries. You know, my nose is not 100%. I'm still struggling to breathe. My nation's experience was very cool, especially jumping down to the 250. I felt really strong. I was bummed we couldn't qualify, but we were really close.
Spain was special for me this season, one of the best races I have been riding. I think Spain have great atmosphere and great fans, so we can build up this in my country. My best MXGP race this season, let's say, was first moto of the Pietramurata GP. I finished 18. I was really close to the top 15, where is my goal.
I think my best race was in Pietramurata, 4 points from 1 race, and it was very good for me.
To get into places like Orléans, Turkey, you know, I've always loved Italy, Spain, so it's cool that MXGP takes me to places I've always dreamed to be enough.
I'm only 30 years old. Look at Tony, he's 37, he's fighting for the titles and winning races. So I hope I can still race in 2-3 more years at this professional level.
Quick look behind the scenes there at JD Gunnick's KTM Racing. As you can see, the MXGP riders coming towards the end of their sighting lap. The flares, the atmosphere, everything starting to build. The air filled with the smoke from those flares, not just from the Italians, but from the Slovenians and every fan around this racetrack as well. It's noisy out there. Let's go down to the grid, though. Lisa's down there with Ben Watson, but before that, a welcome return to AJ.
3 riders, 3 points, and just 2 rounds left in the MXGP class. No one can predict the outcome, but anything can happen. The guys are just getting ready for the first race of the day, but I'd like to speak to a rider that we haven't seen at the triple header in Pietramarata. It's Arminas Jasikonas. Arminas, you did miss the Pietramarata triple header. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm all good actually. We needed a little restart for myself, as I'm still dealing with some issues, so it's not easy. But I'm really excited to be back here racing, and we're just gonna have fun and try to do our best.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you back. Just tell us, how was time practice for you? Just how's the feeling out on the track? And what are you hoping for from today?
Well, I was a bit struggling in time practice. Couldn't get my rhythm really. But yeah, race is gonna be a different situation, so let's just do first laps good, and then for sure we'll come together.
Best of luck. Thanks, Thank you. Let's grab a few words with Monster Energy Yamaha MXGP rider Ben Watson. Ben, we're back here in Mantova. Only a month previous we're here for the Nations. Fond memories for you. You were crowned best MXGP overall at the Nations. You were also on the podium here last year in MX2 days. What's it feel like to be back again?
Yeah, I've got some great memories here. Obviously, we've been here quite a few times, even in the previous years, and the first times we came here, I was never so successful. And then, yeah, the last few times we came, I felt great, and yeah, great memories. I've stood on the box here 2 times, so no, I know I can ride the place good. Qualifying for me was difficult today. I felt good on the bike and with the track, but I just couldn't get a clear lap, and yeah. Now the start's going to be difficult, but I know I'm very confident with my start, so just need to get out and get across, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there.
So obviously we were here for the Nations only 4 or 5 weeks ago. You raced for Team GB.
Yeah.
Do you think it does make a difference for the guys that were here only a few weeks ago? Do you think that they probably do have an advantage because they know their track layout a little bit more?
I mean, today the track's quite a lot different because Saturday at the Nations obviously was on a 2-day schedule, was quite dry, hard underneath, and like hard bumps, not really any ruts. And then on Sunday, of course, it was raining quite a lot, and we had a bit of a mudder. So now today it's had some rain in the previous days, but then today we're clear. So you can tell the ground, the moisture is all the way through, and yeah, it's showing a little bit different in how it's cutting up. So it's deeper in the corners. There's also some bumps, but I don't know if it's really an advantage. We've all rode here numerous times, so yeah, I think the same for everybody.
Have a good race. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ben. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for MXGP Race 1.
What an atmosphere starting to build here ahead of MXGP Race 1. The Cairoli fans are in the house. They will not be satisfied with anything less than a win. And for everybody else who's neutral, who do you put your money on? Roman Fevre, Tim Geiser, or Jeffrey Hurlings? Fevre arrives here as the championship leader for the first time since 2016. It's the first time a red plate's been on the front of a Kawasaki since 2014. Geiser still parked there in the middle between Fevre and Jeffrey Hurlings, who lost the red plate a week ago. If you're not here, why not? Here's how the riders line up in the championship. Roman Fevre, your new championship leader. Look how tight it is. 3 riders, 3 points, 2 rounds to go. Prado is 4th. Siwa up to 5th, ahead of Cairoli now. Koldenoff and Jonas rounding out the top 8. Jonas is not riding today. Jonas, with that rib injury, opting not to ride after free practice today. Maybe we'll see him at the final round on Wednesday. Who knows? Take a look at the time practice session earlier on, shall we? Here's what happened. It was a chilly start. Aerobics there with Sever Brilyakov, as Jeremy Siwa picking himself up after a big crash actually on the finish line jump. He overjumped at the end of free practice and then folded in some heavy dirt. His bike cartwheeled the whole width of the start straight. He picked himself up unscathed, but not the ideal start to the time practice session for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Instead, Jeffrey Hurlings on his 2nd attempt at a flying lap. He went straight to the top of the charts, a 1:52.608, and it was a long time before anybody got even close to him. Romain Febvre did come close though, and on lap 9 of 11, he came within 3/10 of the Red Bull KTM rider. Tony Cairoli was third, just under a second behind his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. Alessandro Lupino put in a good show as well. The MRT Racing KTM rider will go to the line fourth. Jorge Prado, a quiet session for him. Expect him to pull another foxhole shot though. He will go to the line in 9th place. Jeffrey Hurlings, late stages on a charge. He fell, caught his knee on the edge of the bank, and at the same time, Tim Geiser did this. So 2 of the top 3 riders having tasted the dirt here in Mantova already. But Jeffrey Hurlings, his lap on lap 2 was the fastest, and it did put him on pole position for the 12th time this year, ahead of Febvre, Cairoli, Lupino and Siwa. So let's take a look at how the riders line up then, shall we, as the riders down there lining up, and they are all down there on the inside gates. Jeffrey Hurlings goes to the line for the 12th time on pole position. Romain Febvre, the new championship leader, for the 3rd time this year, goes to the line 2nd, ahead of Cairoli. Alessandro Lupino, his best qualifying in MXGP this year. Jeremy Siwa goes to the line 5th, ahead of Tim Geiser, Brian Bogers, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Jorge Prado and Ruben Fernandez. Honda 114 Motorsport up in MXGP for the final 2 rounds this weekend and this season. Boromé goes to the 911, Paturel, Olsen, Ferrato, Dylan Wright, 15th for the Canadian, Henry Jacobi 16, Koldenhoff, Jasikonis, Watson, Koch and the rest. 35 riders originally lined up, but obviously without Paul Jonas, 34 now will duke this one out. You can hear the atmosphere starting to build, continuing to build. It's been electric, and they're all here to see the battle between the top 3. Romain Febvre, the new championship leader, who is 1 point clear of Tim Geiser, who is in turn 2 clear of Jeffrey Hurlings, where we still have 3 points separating the top 3. Tony Cairoli in his penultimate Grand Prix here on home soil in Italy. His penultimate Grand Prix as a racer in MXGP as well. He will say goodbye to the world of motocross on Wednesday. Jeremy Siwa picked himself up after that fall at the end of the free practice session. He was your Grand Prix winner a week ago as he moved into 5th place in the championship, just ahead of Tony Cairoli by 2 points. Number 18 there of Brilikov. The 109 just putting on his goggles. Dylan Wright, Honda 114 Motorsports. There's his teammate, Ruben Fernandez. Right, Geiser, look at these. Big hitters all down the inside, not taking any chances where we know the middle can also be a good starting place. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This one is going to be epic, I'm sure, just like we've had in the last 3 Italian rounds in Trentino. The green flag is up for the first time today, and so too the Fly Racing 15-second board. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. MXGP Race 1. What are the nerves like for those main contenders? Look over there to the outside gates, and maybe Jorge Prado just in front of the aero banner. Who's it going to be that grabs that all-important foxhole shot? And it's Siwa and Koldenhoff. And Geiser! Geiser already doing a Lupino. Wow. That could be costly. Siwa leads. Febvre 2nd, Hurlings 3rd, Cairoli 4th, Koldenhoff is in 5th place. Then we've got Lupino and Geiser. They're in, what, 6th, 7th place. Oh, Jacobi down, I think. Working their way in front of the fans for the first time. Electric atmosphere here. Febvre looking to go around the outside of Jeremy Seewer. Hurlings tries to find his way up the inside of the Kawasaki rider as Febvre does take over the lead, or does he? Seewer puts the squeeze on the Frenchman. Just hangs on to the lead. Tries to go around the outside. Seewer just keen to ride his own race. Doesn't want to get involved in the battle for the championship, but at the same time, doesn't want to give anybody an easy ride either, it appears, as Febvre does charge into the lead on the opening lap. Hurlings just around the outside there in third place. A deep exit for the 91 on the Yamaha. Cairoli there in fourth place. Fifth, Geiser. And then sixth, Koldenoff. We'll make sense of this as we get into that left-hander, and Hurlings takes over second position from Seewer. Oh, exactly the same crash as he did in the first in time practice. Drama again. Seewer can't get going. Hurlings' seat is stuck on the tank. Wow. Where do we go from here? Romain Febvre, championship leader, best seat in the house. He is 2.6 seconds clear of Tony Cairoli. Geiser is in third. Koldenoff is fourth. Fernandez fifth. Boirmé, Lupino, Bogas, Prado, Olsen, Dylan Wright 11. 12 Van Donnick, 13 Seewer. Hurlings came around in 15th place. Going to be a long race from here. Febvre out on his own. Cairoli will have to dig deep. Geiser just biding his time in third place. The 2:43 just coming into land. Two riders disappearing in front of him, Jeremy Seewer and Jeffrey Hurlings. Hurlings fell on that same corner in time practice. His knee caught the bank, the back end came around on him. This time around, Seewer couldn't avoid it. Ruben Fernandez around the outside of Glenn Koldenoff. The Honda 114 Motorsports rider almost wipes out the front end of the Yamaha. Either way, Fernandez up to fourth place. So Febvre disappearing out of shot. There's Cairoli, Geiser, Fernandez, Koldenoff, Boirmé in sixth position. So the second of the Monster Energy Kawasaki is there in sixth place, just behind the Hoff in the final turn now. Romain Febvre, the fastest man on track, almost 4 seconds clear of Cairoli. Geiser right there behind the Italian. There's Boirmé, Lupino, Prado, Bogas, Olsen, Hurlings now up into 11th place. He's found his way past Dylan Wright. Seewer in 13th, Van Donnick behind them. Cairoli careful not to leave the door too wide open. Coming out of that turn, the Yamaha down the inside of Dylan Wright. Wright just getting beat up there by Jeremy Seewer, looking to go back after the Swiss rider though, and here's Hurlings. You saw the top part of the seat came loose when he was in that altercation with Seewer. Trying to make sense of everything that's going on here. So many different camera angles and so many different bikes and bodies. But Hurlings behind the number 19 of Olsen. This will be for 10th place at the moment. Knows he can't hang around. He's got to do qualifying laps from here on out. He goes around the outside of Olsen. Goes after Brian Bogas ahead of him. I think that is. It is the 189. Finds his way past his fellow countryman, but not quite. He's going to have to cut back to the inside. Doesn't have time to do that either. You do the hard work, you get a good start. There's Febvre in the opposite direction. Look, he's already on his way towards the finish line to complete lap 3. This was the corner a couple of laps ago that caught out Jeffrey Hurlings. Still waiting on a replay on that just to see exactly what happened there. Here's what happened. He got down the inside of Siwaluk, got himself into second position, and then, as he got out the turn, did he catch his leg on? He did again, exactly the same. He was trapped under the bike. He got another bike on top of him. Meanwhile, Cairoli second, Geiser is third. Here he is, Team HRC in red. Points as it stands right now. Febvre 6.39, he's 6 clear of Geiser. Hurlings on 6.22. But 23 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Hurlings still part behind Brian Bogers in 10th place at the moment. Down the inside, Italians going mad for Tony Cairoli. He looks behind him, sees Geiser there. Slovenian fans going wild for the 243 as well, as he tries to find his way past the Sicilian. Fernandez is in 14th place. Koldenhoff, Guarame, Lupino, Prado, Bogers, Hurlings. That's your top 10. Well, there's Bogers. Just looking just behind these guys. This is starting to juice up, isn't it? Cairoli needs to find his sight right. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9. So Hurlings has found his way past Bogers. Just the other side of the Dunlop banner, heading uphill into this bottom corner any moment now. See him at the top there. I think he's found his way past... he's got Prado ahead of him, hasn't he? Take a look, 22 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Guarame over the line, going after Koldenhoff. So Koldenhoff in 5th, Guarame 6th, 7th Prado, Lupino 8, Hurlings 9. Here he is coming down past pit lane into this bottom corner now. The number 84. Keep your eyes in the top corner, because Lupino, he goes to the inside, Hurlings goes around the outside. He's coming towards us now. There's Prado. He's going to be side by side, and he's found his way past the Italian. So up into 8th place then. Another long moto. This one's going to be in the books for the rider there, number 84. Lupino, MRT. KTM, no reply as Hurlings goes after Prado. Took him about 5 laps to find his way past the Spaniard a week ago in Garda. How effective is it going to be this time around? Meanwhile, Febvre 6 seconds clear of Tony Cairoli almost. Lap times in traffic, 59s. Still 2 seconds adrift of Fevre's fastest time, which you would expect with clear track for the Frenchman, and a knack through the turn there for the Bullet as well. Prado just holding his line. He will know by now that Hurlings there closes him off on the exit as well. Working their way back towards this little left, right, left section. Wonder if he'll get his marching orders though soon. Five laps complete. Romain Febvre leads, 5.4 seconds clear of Cairoli. Geiser is 3rd. Fernandez 4th. Guarame, Koldenhoff, Prado. Long look over the shoulder. Maybe a long look at the pit board as well. Hurlings there in 8th place. Lupino 9, Bogers 10. Seawer is 11th now. Olsen 12, Dylan Wright in 13th position. Then we've got Van Donnick, Ferrato, Simpson. Cuts to the inside. I thought he was going to just line him up for the pass there, but just was too far back. Just taking a look up, wants to know what's going on if he was to decide to go right or left of the Spaniard. It's a race you don't need when you're fighting for the championship, isn't it? This kind of energy, this kind of output. Meanwhile, Geiser Down the inside of Cairoli. And he's going to go round him here as well, I think. We're going to see a change for second place. And we do. Geiser up to second. Game on again. Alongside Prado, Jeffrey Hurlings trying to out-drag the Spaniard as they go bar to bar, as they head uphill behind Glenn Coldenhoff. Hurlings does find his way past Prado, moves into 7th, and then is he going to move into 6th quickly here around the outside? Finds his way through. 2 positions and about 3 corners then for the Bullet. Nervous look over the shoulder then for Coldenhoff as he thought Prado was coming through. He may still do. Here is your lone race leader at the moment. Romain Febvre arrived here with the championship leader's red plate. Pressure? What pressure? 6 seconds clear of Geiser. Romain Febvre, a 2-time winner here in the past. He won 2015 with 2 race wins. He was victorious here at one of the rounds last year with a 3rd and a 1st. Geiser has also won twice here. Jeffrey Hurlings won a Motocross of Nations individually here a few weeks ago. And apart from that, the only other time he raced here was back in 2016 when he was victorious in MX2, looking to find his way down the inside of Boisrome. He did finish on the podium, 3rd overall, though, his first attempt in MX2 in only his 2nd ever Grand Prix. But he's definitely got his work cut out here in MXGP Race 1. Easily past Boisrome, though, who goes long and can't avoid being passed there by the Dutchman. But he's, I tell you what, he's digging deep, has to yield. All of a sudden up to 5th place then. Got the Frenchman behind him, trying to take a position back from the Bullet. Oh, I liked how he did that, floated up and then picked his wheel up over the next hole. Coldenhoff goes deep into that turn behind them. Prado still hasn't found his way onto the rear wheel of the Dutchman just yet. Coldenhoff, the Dutchman, that is. How big was the gap? It was 17 seconds off of Romain Febvre. 12 seconds off of Tim Geiser before the start of this lap. Just the other side of the corner is Ruben Fernandez, who is currently in 4th position. Take a look at the start. All eyes over on the right-hand side. Watch Tim Geiser here. He goes in. Does he get bumped? He got bumped. He got stood up around about now. There, look, straight on, up onto the bank. He was right at the back. There's Watson in the back there as well. Strybos and also Benoit Paturel. And he emerged in, what, 6th place? But here he is in 2nd position. There's your race leader, 5 seconds clear. 15 minutes, right. Lap time last time around, a 59.3 for Romain Febvre, a 58.5 for Tim Geiser, almost a full second pull back. The gap now 5.1 seconds. Cairoli on his own in 3rd, about 3 seconds further back. And we've got Fernandez lapping a 2:01, Hurlings a 1:58.7. The gap between those two was about 5 seconds at the start of this lap. It's not even worth looking at the championship standings at the moment. Apart from to say that your race leader, Romain Febvre, is extending his championship lead over Tim Geiser. They arrived here 1st and 2nd in the championship. That's going to be 4 points now between those two. Fernandez just here coming towards us. He's in 4th place for Honda 114 Motorsports. Just looking at the intermediate sectors, Hurlings 29.7 is the only one below 30 in sector 1. The only one in the 30 region, well, actually no, there's a few of them in the 30s, but he's gone fastest in sector 3 as he homes in on Ruben Fernandez. And just looking up on the timing screen, Tim Geiser is pending penalties. Pending penalties is being flashed up on the timing screen for Tim Geiser. He's 4.3 seconds clear. Tim Geiser then in second for Team HRC. He's in second position as we stand right now. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Hurlings has just gone fastest in the race by 6/10 over Tim Geiser, the fastest lap of the race. Looking on down there nervously, the technicians for Team HRC. Here's Hurlings closing in on Fernandez. He's closing in on the Spaniard. This is going to be for fourth place with 13 minutes plus 2 to go. Cairoli is just ahead of him in third, just the other side of the jump here. His lap time's 1:58, the same as Roman Fevre's. Tony Cairoli. And Jeffrey Hurlings down the inside of Ruben Fernandez. Closes down the door on the Dutchman. He went from a nice sweep wide. That was just the momentum. Quick look over the shoulder. Closes down the door again. How difficult is this nut to crack? Coming up against a rider no kind of knowledge about in MXGP. You know what it's like on an MX2 bike, Roman Fernandez, but the big Spaniard sitting there in fourth place at the moment. And not a bad debut for the Spaniard. 10th in time practice, first attempt, running fourth in race 1 at the moment. Here's Cairoli. Well, there was Cairoli. Fernandez and Hurlings just here. Another fastest lap of the race for Jeffrey Hurlings, another 57.3. 58s and 59s for everyone else all around him as he goes high and wide, looks to try and get some momentum out of this turn here as he likes to find his way past the number 70 of Ruben Fernandez. He dives down the inside, gives the Spaniard a little bit of room in which to work, throws him a rear wheel and a little bit of attitude as well. One side of the track to the other for both riders here. Tries to cut back, Fernandez just holding his line. Gets up the inside, but not going to find a way through there either. Ruben Fernandez then, hanging on to that fourth place at the moment. Goes the long way round. He's going to be aggressive up the inside. He has to be, but he doesn't want to get involved in a situation that's going to put him down on the ground as well. He's already been in one of those on the first lap when he went down and could not be avoided by Jeremy Seewer. Seewer landed on his bike, picked himself up in about 13th place. Frustrating lap this for the Bullet. .5 plus 2 to go. Looks to go down the inside. Been behind the Spaniard for a full lap now. Back marker coming into play just the other side of them. Fevre, meanwhile, over the line for the 10th time. 1:59.7 for Romain Fevre. 3 seconds behind him, Tim Geiser. And then we've got Cairoli and Fernandez. Hurlings trying to find his way past the number 70. Goes down the inside, chucks it in there. He's going to be alongside. He's going to do a massive cutback here. He's got no choice. The berm, though, just starting to build up. Fernandez knows there's an inside line option there, but these guys are just chucking in, railing around the outside. 2 laps now, he's been parked behind the Spaniard. Cairoli, the other end of the straight. Is there going to be a cutback here? No, can't quite get in there. Fernandez is making him work, isn't he? I wonder what's going through the mind of Dirk Grubel there. Gets better drive, A long look over the shoulder. Is he going to go left to right? He defends that inside. Herlings goes around the outside this time around. Fernandez goes in with it. We have a change for 4th place, finally. Clear track ahead of him now. Got his teammate ahead of him. Fernandez is just going to dog Herlings here, isn't he, from now till the end of the race. The next 8.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Can't shake him off just yet. Fernandez looking to bite back on his MXGP debut. Oh, bike just got away from him slightly there. Right, takes a long look up, probably looks at the clock as well. Fevre, 1:58.8. Geiser, 58.7. Cairoli, 58.1. Herlings, 57.9. And then a 2-minute 0 for Fernandez. 14 seconds separate the first 5. 7 seconds between Fevre and Cairoli in 3rd. Herlings another 6 seconds back. But how cool has this ride been from Romain Fevre? Just out on his own, doing his own thing, and crucially saving a bag full of energy ahead of race 2. But you cannot rule anything out. MXGP has thrown up surprise after surprise after surprise this year, certainly in the last 3 races. You can't even afford to blink. But this is a cool ride from Fevre, no doubt about it. There's Geiser coming back up in the opposite direction. He's hanging on to 2nd at the moment. The Honda rider is going to be 4 points behind Romain Fevre if you put the flag out now. Another 6 points further back, Jeffrey Herlings. Sun bursting through the clouds here above this Mantova racetrack. Shining down on Fevre at the moment. Oh, just up on the pegs, nice and easy, throttle control. Meanwhile, Koldenhoff and Prado. Prado still trying to find his way past the Monster Energy Yamaha. The Monster Energy Kawasaki of Borromée still right there ahead of both of them. The Red Bull KTM, though, Prado still parked in 9th place. Lupino behind him in 10th now. Then Boga's in red for standing construct. Gas, and then Olsen in 12th, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. 6 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Another fastest lap as I look up on the timer screen for the Bullet, a 57.3. It's a full second or so quicker than everybody else around him, but 6 minutes plus 2 to go. Prado thought he found a way up the inside of Koldenhoff then. Interesting what Ben Watson said. Ben Watson currently 18th at the moment. The circuit conditions between being here today and where we were in the Nations at the end of September. Hard on Saturday, wet on Sunday, but then the rain that we've had here, again, a different kind of racetrack, so no real advantage for those who rode here before, including this rider here. 11.9 seconds between him and Fevre now, the race leader. Time is ticking away, but it's the gap between him and Cairoli at the moment. 4 seconds, the gap. There is the gap. Nothing wrong with Cairoli's pace. He is on the same pace as Fevre, Geiser. It's just that his teammate is a lap quicker than all 3 of those guys at the moment. And Fernandez is still there in 5th place, only 4 seconds behind Herlings here. He's in the 59s and quicker than everybody else by a considerable margin as well. There he is, bottom right of your screen, in that long sweeping right, just past the Dunlop banner. Then look how much gap he's got to work to. The next rider is going to be Jeremy Seewer heading uphill. And then you've got this freight train, this gaggle of riders here. Mathis Borromée, Glenn Koldenhoff, Jorge Prado. And just behind them, Alessandro Lupino. 13 laps complete for the top four. In the 56s now for Herlings. 56.4, 3 seconds down on Cairoli, who set his fastest lap of the race at 57.7. 2 seconds quicker than Fevre and Geiser. So 59.1, 59.02. Cairoli at 57.7, at 56.4 for Herlings. 9.3 off the lead. 3.5 minutes or thereabouts, plus 2 laps to go. His teammate right there ahead of him, but once again, we're going to get to a situation, maybe before the end of the race, the top 3 in the championship are going to be first, second, third in the race. What order, though? That is the question. And the biggest thing here is the penalty that's going to be handed out to Tim Geiser. It's been flashing now for about 10 minutes or so. And what we don't know, I mean, what we do know, the first time we really saw that sign was at the Motocross of Nations with Alessandro Lupino. He got a 10th-place penalty. But is it under investigation? Is that the only reason why it's pending? Are there people behind the scenes looking at that? I'm sure there are as we speak, but I guess we won't know until the very end of the race. Cairoli under attack from Jeffrey Herlings then. Third and fourth, bottom of the screen from the Moon Camp. 3.2, the gap between Fevre and Geiser. Geiser looking like he's closing in. The best case scenario for Tim Geiser at the moment. Obviously, he wants to win the race. Of course he does. Slightly offline there for Tony Cairoli. The back end just came out on him. Had to wait for it to straighten up, but nothing in it between third and fourth in the race as we speak. 58.9. He's still quicker than the 2 leaders, and all of a sudden, these guys now are bunching up onto Fevre and Geiser. Tim Geiser can't afford to lose positions. He needs to go after Romain Fevre. Fevre just minding his own business. Doesn't want to lose the 25-point lead that he has at the moment. The last time we saw Fevre in this position where he led, he threw away that lead, didn't he, in one of the Trentino rounds. As everybody else came around and beat him up, here he is. He's had a cool head for now. That's first, second, third and fourth all of a sudden. 6 seconds apart. Still don't know where to look. Cairoli has just upped his pace. It's almost an invite, isn't it? I'm upping my pace. You've got to go with me. Fevre, top of the hill. Then Geiser in red, around the outside of the back marker. Cairoli goes past duct tape man. Number 79, Timothée Herrero. Jeremy Seawer, the Foxhole shot boy. We'll worry about all that later on. That took some sorting out, didn't it? Back markers just keeping an eye on what's going on here. Looks past one. He's obviously seen Fevre, seen Geiser. That's Guillaume, so he knows how to deal with this situation. He'll hold a tight line here. Herlings should be able to go up the inside of him here. Oh, just gets caught behind. Oh, twice. So all of a sudden, we've still got a gap, 6.4 seconds. We've got a 3-lap race now, 3-lap dash for cash. Fevre, 1.8 clear of Geiser, a 59.3 for the Frenchman, 58.8 for Geiser. Cairoli, 57.3. He's only 3 seconds off the lead. Cairoli, I would not be surprised if Cairoli, there he has Geiser ahead of him, Cairoli will believe he can still win this race. And if he takes, and here's the other scenario. Okay, there was a lot written about last week about the KTM situation. But if Cairoli goes after Geiser, takes 2 points away, that helps his teammate out here. If he goes after Fevre and takes 3 points away, helps his teammate out. So whichever way you look at it, there is a gain somewhere along the line for somebody. But what a season, what an atmosphere. Everybody getting behind Cairoli on this side of the racetrack. The Ducalis just looking on. Wanting to know how this one's going to play out as well. The two-lap board getting readied. Fevre has led pretty much every lap. Cairoli closing on Geiser. Keeps it nice and tight, the 222. Once again, his teammate closing in on him, or trying to. A slight bobble there as he tried to get out of the rut and go around the single. Kind of managed it well. Worked out for him. 2 laps to go. How big are these 2 laps going to be? Geiser can hear the circuit announcer underneath that helmet of his. He holds a nice tight line. Cairoli there, then Herlings. Meanwhile, Fevre just over 2.5 seconds clear of these 3 warring warriors. You cannot take your eyes off of this, can you? Oh, was on the tight side there, wasn't he? He decided to swing around the outside. All of a sudden, we got a Hardy Ruziorg, number 75, saying, just go around me. I don't care. And Herlings has found his way past Cairoli. A nice, sweet move around the outside into 3rd place. And he's going after Geiser for 2nd. The place is just lit up. Geiser behind back markers. He's stuck. He can't find a way through. Can't go left, can't go right. Oh! I thought he was going to land on Brilyakov or Miro Sievenen. Cuts to the inside. Herlings. He finds his way alongside Geiser. You would think by now that with Fevre going through, again, handlebar band there, you would expect him just to find his way somewhere just to avoid this kind of conflict. The rider in blue. Fevre out of sight. Geiser has to up his game to keep Herlings behind him. We said don't worry about the championship positions at the moment, didn't we? About 20 minutes ago. We're still not worried about them. We'll just worry about this at the end of the race. Final lap. A showdown between Geiser and Herlings. And maybe Fevre just ahead of them, who looks like he's got this one under control at the moment, though. Will he go outside or inside? Well, he just follows him in, has nice drive through there. He's got a nice line there, hasn't he? What a Herculean effort this has been for number 84. These 3 riders at the top of the championship, right at the very top of their game. They all know you cannot afford a mistake, not with 3 races left to go in the season. 1 more today. Oh! How did he stay up? He chucked it in the rut, his leg fell off. He was just legging his way around there. Comes back to the inside. He finds his way. Oh, simultaneous scrubs. Closes down the door. He is under pressure, he's under ropes. He goes around the outside. Herlings is in 2nd. Geiser tries to get back, he can't. Wow, what an atmosphere. What a ride. And Fevre is just there ahead of him. Cairoli, is he going to find his way up the inside of Geiser? Geiser cannot afford a loss of position. He's got pending penalties on his name on the timing screen. Cairoli looks to try to cut to the inside. Well, we don't know which way to look. Fevre is just going to hang on, I think. Cairoli there in 4th. I don't think there's time for him to find his way past Geiser, not with 2 corners to go. He tries to cut to the inside. That's it, that's game over. Fevre into the final corner. Fevre's going to hang on. He is going to win race 1. What a big win for him. What a big ride for Herlings. And what a race once again. Yes, you may applaud. Once again, we have been spoiled. I said it last week, a season that keeps on giving. Watch this here. This was from 4th to 3rd for Jeffrey Hurlings. Cairoli got caught behind Hardy Ruziorg. Hurlings got around the outside, got on the gas, made that pass, and then this was on Geiser. He had to... This was the mistake. Got alongside, he then switched back because he got the door closed in his face. He went around the outside. Had to carry that momentum. Anyway, that was for second. Fevre won it. Hurlings second, Geiser third, Cairoli, Fernandez. And I do believe we're getting ready to go down to speak to Romain Fevre. At some point, he was a winner by just over a second. Another crazy race that we have just witnessed here. Here's Lisa with Romain Fevre.
Romain Fevre, massive congratulations. You kept a cool head, you rode your own race, and you've extended that championship lead. This is another big win for you.
Yeah, definitely. Feel good on the track, but the track is really sketchy. Many places where it's hard underneath, and yeah, it's really tough to handle that. And then, yeah, I took the lead pretty early, and yeah, it was tough on the front. I could not, let's say, see if my line was good or not, and then I struggled a little bit at the middle, and yeah, a pretty strong finish. So yeah, happy. It's this way that we have to go to the end.
Great job. Good luck for the second race.
Romain Fevre wins race 1 by just over a second. And Romain Fevre extends his lead from 1 point to 6 points over Jeffrey Hurlings with that victory here. But crucially, while we were listening to that interview, the pending penalties sign for Tim Geiser means he's gone from 3rd to 5th. He's been docked 5 places. So the championship as it stands right now, 639, 633, 626, Tim Geiser. Let's give you the official confirmation of the race here, though. Romain Fevre, a fantastic win for the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, edging out Jeffrey Hurlings on the Red Bull KTM ahead of his teammate Cairoli. Ruben Fernandez 4th, the Honda 114. C was Monster Energy Yamaha 5, Prado 6, Olsen, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna 7, Geiser 8, and for Team HRC, Borromeo 9, Lupino MRT, KTM 10, Koldenhoff 11, Bogas on the standing construct, Gas 12, Dylan Wright, Honda 114 13, Van Donnick, Geben van Venrooy 14, Ferrato, Simpson, Watson, Jasikonis, Brilikov, and Lorenzo Locurcio for JD Gunnix. So Romain Fevre wins race 1, still not happy. But he'll come out swinging in race 2, I'm sure. But once again, we are having a crazy topsy-turvy season here in MXGP. They're happy. We're happy. Look at those blue Yamaha hats, the Maxim Renault World Championship hats. Well, they say variety is the spice of life. Well, I'll tell you what, the spice of life is full of variety. Watch the start here, MXGP race 1. This is why Geiser got his penalty. He went in, he got stood up about now as riders fell. He went over the bank and then re-emerged down the inside. Jeremy Seawer, though, did grab the foxhole shot. Behind him, Romain Fevre, Jeffrey Hurlings, Tony Cairoli. And Glenn Koldenhoff was in there as well. Fevre quickly took over the lead. Up the inside of Seawer. This was on the opening lap. And then Hurlings quickly found his way past the Swiss into second, and then watch this, exactly like he did in time practice, caught that bank, exactly the same crash. Seawer couldn't avoid him. The two were down and buried in around about 13th, 14th place at that point when they got going. Ruben Fernandez quickly found his way past Glenn Koldenhoff. It almost took him out on the way out of the turn as well. That was for 4th place. Meanwhile, Tony Cairoli got caught onto the rear wheel of Geiser. Geiser went around the outside. That put him into 2nd place. Seawer on his charge back through the field. Eventually came home in 6th. As Hurlings continued to push on after 2 laps of trying to find his way past the Spaniard. He did find his way into 4th place. He then found his way past Cairoli for 3rd in amongst traffic. The rider ahead of him at this point now in red was Tim Geiser, and just 20 metres further up the track was Romain Febvre. A lap to go, he found his way past Geiser to move in a 2nd. Just ran out of time to do anything about Romain Febvre, who went on to win by just over a 2nd. And Romain Febvre wins race 1 here in Mantova. Another cracking race in MXGP. Romain Febvre, 6 race wins now for him in the season. But let's take a look at the foxhole shot. And just like he did a week ago, it was Jeremy Seewer. Jeremy Seewer just by bike length then, taking his 3rd foxhole shot of the campaign. He ends up crossing the line in 5th place after he went down on the opening lap with Jeffrey Hurling. So a good recovery for him as well. Tell you what, we've all of a sudden just been teleported 130k north of here. Do we get our breath now, or should we just go straight into race 2, get this thing over and done with? Answers on a postcard, please, or go by snail mail. Let's take a look at some of the best moments, though. Another big race, another big result, and one more race still to come. We're going to take a break. Join us in an hour. When we return, it's MX2 Race 2, and that, of course, as always, will be followed by MXGP Race 2. We'll see you then.